So here we have the results of the replica plating. Along the top are the original plates. And you can see that the colonies have grown back. So when I put them onto the replicating paper, they got pretty well taken off all of the cells that you could see. There was a little kind of a smear of what was left. And that smear grew up into basically the same colony shapes as we had before. Now those are the original plates. We can compare those to the ones that we made as copies. So the middle row here, these are YPD, and then the bottom row are YPD+formamide. So a couple things we can see just off the bat. We can see that the pattern, let me put those both in frame. The pattern is basically the same. So if I line up, if you remember we had those black lines on the side. If I line up the black marks to be at the same position, then I should be able to compare the same colonies in the same location. So this pattern of colonies matches that pattern of colonies. So all the patterns should be about the same between. And what we're looking for today is a colony that grew up on the YPD plate in the middle row and did not grow on the YPD plus formamide plate. So we'll see if we can find any of those. You could do like an individual colony by colony comparison. I'll give you a little shorthand here. You can line these plates up on top of each other and kind of compare them by looking through one at the other. And you want to see anything that's missing in the plate in the foreground and present on the plate in the background. And I'll be honest, we don't always find what we're looking for on this one. But we can compare them, and maybe come up with some suspected sensitive mutants here. Well, at the very least, I think we did a pretty good job of transferring these cells. All right, that was D plate, now C plate. If you remember on this experiment, we didn't see any evidence that we caused mortality using the ultraviolet light. So there's initially no evidence that we did any strong mutations. And we're looking right now for kind of minor mutations that might be showing up and causing this one little phenotype that we're looking for. So when you grow up cells, your cell phenotype is, for the most part, you're restricted to phenotypes in terms of growth. So if a strain of yeast is unable to process their nutrients or respond to stresses, then they would grow in a different way than the wild type yeast colonies. All right, so I'm not really seeing anything at all that looks different. All right, you know what? It's not much, but I think we'll go with this. So right above where my finger is, you can see there's a spot on the back plate, but it's missing from the front plate. That could be a little bit of an artifact where something splashed off to the side on one of these plates, but not on the other. But it's the kind of thing that we would be looking for. So something that's missing on the YPD+formamide plate and present on the YPD regular plate. So that's maybe our best one to work with for now. I'm going to get my marker and circle that so that I can pick it. Now, of course, when we pick it, we can't pick the missing colony, right? There's nothing there to pick. So we're going to pick the corresponding cells on the YPD regular plate, and those should be genetically the same on both of these plates. So the ones behind that did grow on the permissive YPD medium, those should be genetically the same as what we think is formamide sensitive on the foreground plate.